All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this masterclass explainer on how to actually harness the immense power of AI without accidentally causing a catastrophic data breach for your organization. I'll be stepping into the role of your senior consultant today, and our goal is simple. We are going to calibrate your AI judgment skills. Look, AI is absolutely revolutionizing research, data analysis, and our daily operations. But if you don't fully grasp the underlying privacy implications, you're essentially flying blind in some very, very dangerous airspace.
Let's kick things off with a hard number, $50,000. That is the potential upper limit fine for a single HIPAA violation caused by mishandling protected health data. And depending on the scale of the breach, those numbers, they can easily multiply into the millions. And honestly, that doesn't even factor in the grueling institutional investigations, the complete loss of your research credibility, or the devastating hit to your company's reputation.
So I really have to ask you, could your last AI prompt cost your company this much? The invisible threat we're facing today is that casually pasting some data into an AI tool can literally constitute a massive career-ending data breach. We all want the massive efficiency gains of AI, for sure, but we absolutely cannot afford the compliance violations that come from just blindly dropping sensitive information into consumer-grade tools.
Here's our game plan for today's strategy session. We'll cover 1. The AI data trap. 2. What is sensitive data? 3. Interrogating your AI tools. 4. Real-world AI risk scenarios. 5. Designing a secure workflow. And finally, 6. The AI security checklist.
Okay, part 1. The AI data trap, losing control of your information. Let's look at how the basic architecture of commercial AI creates some immediate vulnerabilities for us. Here is the absolute bottom line. The second you hit send on a prompt, you are transferring your sensitive research or proprietary methods directly into the hands of a third-party server. It's literally like shouting your secret proprietary methods in a crowded coffee shop. Once it's out there, you've lost control. The company running the AI might use your data to train and improve their own system. It might be visible to their engineers, or worse, it could be exposed in a data breach on their end. And these aren't just hypothetical paranoid risks. Real companies absolutely do use input data to improve their models unless you explicitly secure an agreement that says otherwise.
Moving on to part 2. What is sensitive data? Defining the danger zones. Because not all data is created equal, and we need to know where the landmines are.
You don't get to arbitrarily decide what feels sensitive. Regulations and institutions make that call. We're talking patient medical records, European user data protected by GDPR, your unreleased proprietary code, and data from vulnerable populations. These are the assets that require strict institutional protection and oversight. Even seemingly harmless stuff like a student's ID number or your unpublished preliminary research methods, that falls strictly into the confidential category. You just cannot share this stuff freely with third parties. No exceptions. Now, here is a massive trap professionals fall into all the time. They think just deleting names is enough to anonymize data. It isn't. Proper de-identification means you have to strip out all the quasi-identifiers too. Think about it. If you leave in a birth date, a gender, and a zip code, someone can easily piece that puzzle together and re-identify that individual. And if someone can re-identify the subject, well, you didn't de-identify it enough. Dropping that poorly scrubbed data into a commercial AI is a direct, undeniable violation of privacy laws.
All right, part 3. Interrogating your AI tools, looking under the hood. It's time to put these commercial platforms in the hot seat and see what their terms of service actually say.
There is a very stark contrast here that you really must understand. Free tools actively use your inputs to learn. If you're using a free version of a popular chatbot, you are the product. Your conversation data is generally retained, and it's probably going to be used to train their future models. Paid enterprise versions, however, offer the legal shields you actually need. They allow for business associate agreements, or BAAs, which illegally protect institutional data and explicitly prevent your data from being used as training fodder.
And please, do not just trust a slick marketing page that claims a tool is secure or encrypted. Marketing language is not a technical guarantee, period. You need to demand to see actual rigorous security certifications like ISO 27001, SOC 2 Type 2, or FedRAMP before deploying an enterprise solution. Dig into the privacy policy, see exactly where your data is stored, who has access to it, and if you actually have the option to opt out of data retention.
Part 4. Real-world AI risk scenarios, the war room. Let's take all these principles and apply them to the actual roadblocks you and your team face every single day. Consider this your daily cheat sheet.
You need to constantly evaluate task risk versus AI capability. For example, if you're dealing with health research, your risk is a HIPAA violation. Your countermeasure? De-identify that data completely or run local offline open source models. Dealing with partner data under an NDA? The risk is a breach of contract, which means that data stays strictly local. Sure, you can use AI to help with your literature review, but the actual sensitive data never touches the cloud. Always ask yourself, is the data sensitive? And just as importantly, is the AI actually capable of this specific math or logic task? Or will it just hallucinate an answer? Match the tool's capability directly to your risk level.
So what do you do when you actually need coding help for your proprietary methods? You use what we call the abstract prompt method. Keep your prompts completely abstract so the AI learns the overall structure, not your secret sauce. Never paste your actual code. Instead, ask something like, I have a method that calculates X using Y. How would I implement this in Python? You get the template you need, and then you apply it to your actual data offline, securely on your own machine. Okay, part 5, designing a secure workflow, your step-by-step blueprint. We've assessed the risks, now let's build your operational blueprint for safely integrating AI into your daily grind.
I want you to implement this 5-step checklist with your team before kicking off any new project. First, take 20 minutes to identify if you have sensitive data. Second, check your constraints. Go talk to your IRB or HIPAA compliance officer. Third, assess the AI tool's actual security certifications. Fourth, map out a step-by-step flowchart of exactly which tasks will use AI and which won't. And fifth, identify any gaps where you want to use AI but can't, and figure out safe workarounds. Oh, and a vital warning here. AI models are notorious for hallucinations. If you use them to aggregate data, they will often look you right in the virtual eye and confidently generate fake citations or entirely fabricated statistics. Always verify AI outputs against your primary sources.
In practice, a truly healthy workflow is all about strict separation. Keep your sensitive data on local, offline tools. That should be about 40% of your work. Then, you can safely leverage the immense power of commercial cloud AI for the remaining 60%, conducting literature reviews, improving your writing, and generating generic code templates using those abstracted prompts we talked about. You get all the efficiency of AI without compromising a single byte of your data.
Finally, part 6, the AI security checklist, busting dangerous myths. Let's wrap up this strategy session by busting some of the dangerous myths that are probably floating around your office right now.
Make sure your entire team knows these traps. Thinking my data isn't that sensitive is a huge mistake. Regulations decide that, not you. Believing de-identification is just deleting names totally ignores quasi-identifiers. Remember that privacy policies are usually just marketing documents, not technical guarantees. And I hear people say enterprise agreements are too expensive. Trust me, they are vastly cheaper than a $50,000 compliance fine and a humiliating press release apologizing to your clients. And lastly, mere compliance is just the bare minimum. Truly protecting your data requires understanding the spirit of privacy, not just checking off a regulatory box.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Look at the data on your desk right now. Your patient records, your proprietary strategy, your collaborative research. Do you actually know where it goes when you press enter? Take the principles we covered today, map out your own workflow, and make sure that you are the one architecting your AI security rather than just leaving it up to chance. Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep your data secure.